haven't seen that one, man. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Garo. Yes. Yes, that was a badass suit of armor. All three of those guys. Yeah. That would be sick. That would be seriously sick. Let me get you guys a link to the foam tile place. Oh, my lovely, lovely lady already did, so sweet. Yeah, that damn helmet will be just amazingly sick to do. Yep. Yeah, definitely a badass helmet. The armor, even the weapons were just ridiculously nice. Alright, so I think it's time to do some raised portions of this. So now I'm gonna work with a bit thinner foam. This right here is 3mm foam, I believe, which you can get from like Ross. Sometimes Joanne sells it. If not, you get the little craft foam pieces from there. You can use those. Harbor Freight sometimes sells these. Target, they sometimes sell these. Or Big Lots, they go for that too. Alright, so right now, like I said, I want to pop out some sections even more. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. Probably going to narrow. Let me narrow this up some first before I do that. I'm just going to take down a little bit in this area here so it kind of comes in more. My bad. Sorry about that. What I was saying was, when I build my armors, I like to work with levels. So like a 1/2 inch is like my go-to because it gives you a good density, but you can still bend it pretty easily with a heat gun and have it hold its shape. Inch thick foam, it can still be bent with a heat gun, but it is a bitch. I mean, you really gotta hold down tight for a longer period of time. But depending on what I'm working on, I might start with a 1/2 inch for my overall base, but then I'll go ahead and I'll use the 3mm foam or even the inch thick foam for certain areas, and it gives you a nice variety, you know, on your armor. Also, when the natural light hits it, it casts some pretty amazing shadows, you know, on your armor, versus just doing the whole thing one thickness and then rely on painting skills to try to give the illusion of depth. You know, why go that and do that? Just go ahead and create that depth for yourself using different layered pieces, doing engraving techniques, and then when you go behind that and you use your paint techniques on it, it just comes out amazing. You know, so for all you guys that are doing work like this, definitely work with levels. I mean, look at the dagger that I did. You know, I could have simply just painted this raised area, but no, I actually carved into it. So when the light hits it, you get these really nice shadows popping off of it, you know, and then I engraved in the runes. I didn't just paint them. So once again, that adds another layer of dimension to the entire piece. Looks really, really nice. So you definitely want to make sure that you always do that. You know, when I did the sube, which is the hill, I didn't draw the scales. I actually, well, I drew them, but I actually carved into them behind that. You know, so once again, when that light hits it, it just gives a nice level of detail to it, of realism, you know. So that's something that I would definitely implore all you guys to do in all your builds. You know, don't just go easy with that one level. You know, carve into it, add a piece of foam to it to raise it up. You know, do those things, and believe me, you will never be sorry. Yeah, I probably did it backwards. Yeah, I meant to mute it and I didn't mute it. Sorry about that, guys. My Overwatch cosplay, believe it or not, I use 1-inch thick foam. 1-inch thick foam is incredibly resilient and stiff and thick. And I just layered, stacked stuff a certain way. I'm going to actually rebuild my Overwatch cosplay, my Reinhardt, because they finally actually released the concept art on the character. So I get to see him from all sides. So I want to do a complete new build on him. And just apply some new stuff to it. I really want to make the lights and everything really, really bright. And there's a website called superbrightled.com. I'm going to get my lights from them just for that, because I really want stuff to shine really good. Alright, Daddy, man, you have a good night, brother. Thank you so much, man, for coming on by and chilling with us for a little bit. Much appreciated. Alright, so once again, I'm just freehanding all this gooch stuff. It's one of the benefits about going to art school, and or even, you know, being an artist or just training yourself. You know, there are certain steps you can skip because your eye has been trained to the point where you can just look at it and do it. It's a good thing. Out with the X-Acto knife. Then I'm gonna lay it up against this and see if it meets my expectations, and if so, I'll just simply flip it on there and do a mirror image of this. If not, I'll draw it again. And when you are cutting with an X-Acto knife, make sure your blade's always fresh. Over time of cutting with one, you'll get to learn how it feels when it's slicing through the foam, when it's fresh, and when it's eating through the foam, when it's, well, I say when it's ripping through the foam, when it's not a fresh blade. You do not want that to happen, because when it rips through the foam, it actually tears through it, and it just gives you that much more work when it's time to smooth stuff down and get your lines clean. Um, I really don't mess with a hot knife no more, unless I'm trying to do a really intricate cut into foam with some funny angles to it. Then I might use it. Normally I just use X-Acto knife. But don't get me wrong, a hot knife is a good tool to use. Yeah, this is about the right thickness I want it coming out from the face, especially the cheekbone area. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip this over and cut out a mirror image of this. Sometimes when you're doing little fine detail cuts, you may want to get an X-Acto knife and blade that's kind of like the pen knife variety, and use that instead. I'm just so used to using this thing. I just working my way through with it. Okay, so now I got this texture on the back here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sand down this texture, and then I can go ahead and use my high temp hot glue gun and glue these parts into place.